Hi everybody, hope you're doing well and enjoying some of this summer weather. If you look behind me, you'll see on my office wall three maps. One's of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a place we've been going to for 10 years as a church, seeing God do some amazing things. In the middle here is the map of the Liverpool City region, all around Merseyside, and over on the far side is the map of Great Britain and all of the churches and places we're working in as Kairos Connexion, looking to transform our nation with the gospel through a movement of missionary disciples. So today I just wanted to talk briefly about how we can make good use of the summer. We can't always guarantee good weather, but we generally get some as the summer progresses. We're certainly enjoying some at the moment here in Liverpool, because it's a great opportunity to make lots and lots of connections with people who don't know Jesus, who are not part of our churches, but who are interested and want to find out more about a journey of faith. I often think it would be wonderful if we lived in the Mediterranean, where people who live there seem to be able to spend most of their time outside and outdoors, because it's so much easier, isn't it, to connect with people when they're hanging out in the street, in the neighbourhood. Well, summer is our best opportunity. It's our best chance of that. Some of you may have planned to do things around the Queen's 90th birthday celebrations, street parties, etc. Some of you may be planning summer barbecues, family fun events. Coming into September, towards the end of September, there's a national prayer weekend, where churches around the country are asking their neighbours and their friends whether they have prayer requests they can take back to their church and pray for. All of these are just different ways of making contact with as many people as possible. Here's the three things I want to share with you today. The first is this: if we're going to find people of peace who are leaning into us, want to find out more, spiritually open and interested, then we have to make contacts with dozens and dozens of people. The maths isn't perfect, but just play along with me for a moment. Imagine we had to find, or at least make contact with 100 people in order to find 10 who were starting to lean into us and ask the right questions, spiritually open. And out of that 10, one of them was actually ready to say, yes, I want to start on this journey of discipleship. They came to faith and they started to grow as a disciple maker. Then, if that was the maths, and I'm certainly not trying to say that that's how it works, but it would take 100 different contacts to find that one. Now, it may not be as drastic as that, but I suspect it's probably not far off that. And so if we're only focusing on one or two relationships, maybe a couple of people we work with, praying they become a person of peace, we may miss the other people of peace that are around us in our neighbourhood, in our workplace, wherever we're hanging out. So we have to find ways of creating multiple opportunities for contact with people to see who does start to lean in, does start to draw close to us and closer to God as a result. So in some ways it's a numbers game. How are we going to create enough opportunities? And the summer months gives us the best chance to do that. Let me just throw out the challenge. Think of as many ways as possible over the next few months to create those opportunities for connection. So here's the second thing. If we want those connections to turn into people who are actually going to be known to us as people of peace, then we have to turn the conversations to a spiritual level. In other words, we have to find out whether they're spiritually open. And one of the simplest ways to do that is to be confident and ready to tell our story. Have you ever told your story? What life was like for you before you met Christ, how you met Christ, how life has changed subsequently. Practice it. Use it. Practice a 60-second version, a 3-minute version. And if you get the chance, think about how you can weave just elements of the gospel into that story. Well, this is what I heard when someone explained to me. They said this and they said that, and I began to understand this is just how much God loves me. This is what Jesus had done for me. This is what I needed to do in order to become a follower of Jesus. So you can weave the gospel into your story quite naturally and quite easily. And it's very clear by the time you've done that whether someone asks more questions, whether they come back for more, whether they are open to taking it to the next level. Because as we start to tell our story, weaving the gospel into it, we begin to discover those who are open to this journey of faith. And here's the third thing. It's no good doing those first two things if we haven't got the third thing in place, which is to create a pathway of faith for those who want to pursue it. Stepping stones, if you like, across a river. Usually it involves an invitation to something. It may be we're going to be telling the story of God in our community. We could invite people to that. Maybe we're going to run an alpha course in our home. We could invite people to that. Maybe we're going to do some of these 7 signs in John's Gospel as a discovery Bible study for not yet believers, like Neil Cole describes. Whatever the invitation opportunity is, we need to create that pathway of faith, and maybe we can encourage those who are interested to bring their friends, maybe even meet where they want to meet, maybe in a cafe in their home, to make it very, very easy for them to buy in. So those are the 3 things. Create enough opportunities, learn to tell our story, share our story to find out who's open and interested, and thirdly, create a pathway to faith so people can make that journey. I hope that's helpful. I hope it helps you to make the most of the summer months. It may be by the time you get to the autumn, it's a great opportunity to create one of those invitational opportunities, a pathway to faith that you and your community can do together, because these things always work better when we do it together as a community. God bless you, and enjoy the summer months as we progress into them. God bless you.